Graybeard Gaming. Welcome to the Graybeard Gaming podcast. I just looked where my camera used to be. And I am your host, Scott, and Star Wars is dead. Let it go. As always, I have with me David, and Liam should be in any second. And this week we're going to talk about Marvel Rival layoffs. Ex-Sony exec talks about PC ports and really whatever else. And with that, I want to ask the audience, we got comments below, what do you want to hear from us? We talk a lot about news and stuff, but we also go out on tangents and talk about like older consoles and the heyday of gaming and just different topics in the gaming news and not necessarily a specific story. So let us know what you like to hear from us and what you would like to hear in the future, and we'll be happy to talk about those things. I, for one, David, I love getting into a conversation about basically, anything gaming. It doesn't really have to be like a modern story, but I think that's when we have the most fun, and it shows. Gaming news now is it's kind of bad. So, we talk about something else. But anyway, so let us know, leave a comment below, and like and subscribe. It's free, and it's all natural. So let's get started with David. But first, before we talk about what we've been playing this week, I have a question for you, David.
Yes.
What console manufacturer had the best names for their consoles?
Oof. Definitely not fucking Xbox.
Yeah, I think that's a consensus.
Sega?
I would say so. Yes, absolutely. Okay. I thought about this the other day. I was watching this video and somebody had a Dreamcast, and I was like, "Man, is that just not the coolest name for a console? A Dreamcast."
Yeah. And then they had the Sega Genesis.
Genesis, yeah, like the start of something.
They had the TurboGrafx 16, and just like the way that sounds.
Was that Sega? No, that wasn't Sega. No, that was.
It wasn't.
Who had TurboGrafx? Was it Philips?
Who made that? Didn't Sega make that?
No. That was a competitor. That was the competitor to the 3DO. Okay, now we're getting to a you're gonna look it up, aren't you? Yeah, who was that? That was the TurboGrafx 16. That was Bonk. That was the.
They had Bonk's
launch,
Adventure. Remember
that? The launch title where you just like hit shit with your head.
Yeah. No, they had Sega. They had Sega CD. Yeah, that's a little.
Well, that was an add-on, right? They had the
32X.
32X was an add-on, which is still, those are still cool names. 32X, and then Saturn. I mean,
Sega Saturn.
Sega Saturn, right. Man. They just had the best names.
How about the Game Gear?
Oh, yeah, the handheld deal. Oh, yeah, man, that thing was awesome.
Game Gear, man.
Yeah. I was more of a Sega guy.
Me too.
You had Nintendo and then Super Nintendo. Like, at the time, I don't like, who cares what they're named, but seriously, it's like, low effort Nintendo. It's great. Go with the lowest common denominator. Unlike PlayStation over here, who's coming out with the PlayStation 2. Ooh. So,
they just started numbering them. I'm like, that's lazy. But Xbox has gotten to the point where, like, at least PlayStation, the numbers aren't confusing. It's like, okay, what
what's the newest? Right.
Yeah. I have a 4. I have a 5. Xbox is like the Xbox One S, the Xbox Series X, and the X. I'm like, oh my God. It got to the point where,
I know. Even the 360, it was like, okay, I get it, but okay.
Yeah. This is not helping.
No. I think they should adopt Sega's way of consoles, and the next one just be like when they had, what was the code name for the Xbox One X was it Scarlet? I think it was Scarlet.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great name. The code name for the Xbox Series X was Scorpio. I might have those reversed. Either way, those are Scorpio. Xbox Scorpio. That sounds like a cop that like has a vendetta.
I feel like
Scorpio.
I feel like whoever approved these names like doesn't play video games at all. Like
No,
they're just
it's a
like
marketing person. It's
it's all
yeah,
corporate.
yeah.
Like the Xbox Series S sounds great, and he's like getting blown on his fucking yacht or something like that. Sounds great.
Right.
It's all
Hey, we need
Series
a name real
X.
quick. What'd he say? I think he said Series X. Okay, we'll go with that. It's yeah.
Yeah, no,
They need to do something because
they need it.
Sega had the shit, man. Ah, that was
You know what I loved about Sega?
Dreamcast. That was so awesome.
The, when they came out with the Genesis, and then it was just like it just kept adding to it, adding to it, adding to it. You
Oh,
had
I
the
had the
third.
whole thing. I had the whole thing.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
I was a little sad when they were like, "Oh, we're coming out with the Dreamcast, and it's just like a new system." And I'm like, "Man, I wanted to see what else I could add to this damn
I
thing."
know, I know.
You know?
I think I got the CD, the Sega CD, the bundle. I got the bundle. And it was like
Yeah.
$400. So you got the Sega
That's-
Genesis and you got the Sega CD. And you remember it like it fit into a tray. So the CD was on the side, and then you put the Sega Genesis, you like snapped it in, and it was like one
Uh-huh.
piece. Oh man, it
Yeah.
was just awesome. And then the 32X went into the cartridge slot.
Right on top.
Yeah,
And they all like Ben, it's just like all helped. Like added that
yep,
extra.
yeah.
Man, I was like, this is the coolest freaking
It
thing. And I
starts
mean,
off
I'm
with
sure
this
some
little box, and then it's like,
yeah. The next thing you know, it's like the size of a refrigerator in your house. And it's like,
right.
I got all the add-ons, man.
It's got like cables and shit coming out of it. You had to put
Yeah,
in
yeah,
another
yeah,
like
yeah.
you know like direct line to the pole out back
Right.
for added electricity for the 600 gigawatts or whatever. Yeah, that thing was awesome. I had that thing and I'm like,
Uh,
I can play anything. Like you name
yeah.
it, I
Yeah.
could play it. It was
And then you would see
fantastic.
the box. It was like 32X, the game. And I'm like, man, I bet that one's better. I bet that one's like even better because it
Yeah.
has the 32X combination platter, extra stuff, you know?
Yep. It was
But,
genius because it was able to do 3D graphics, 3D rendering.
right.
Because I had the
Mhm.
Star Wars arcade, which was all polygons. I'm like, my mind is blown. I just couldn't even
Right.
fathom like what I was looking at the time.
Yeah.
And then I got a PC. So after that, it was a little. I kind of like left that behind. But I remember thinking, I
Yeah.
was like, I wanted to buy a PC, and I didn't have enough money. But I'm like, man, I have enough money to get this,
Yeah.
and I think I'm just going to get this for now. And I did. I had that for a couple of years before I got an actual PC.
Yeah.
But man, 32X. I still have the 32X and a couple of games. It does not work. I don't know why I still have it.
Uh,
It's yeah, unfortunately, my Sega. I took it apart. It wouldn't. It would come on, but it really wouldn't do anything. And I took it apart, and apparently some moisture or something got into it, and the board was just all screwed up. Still came on.
uh,
All right. So anyway, there's an example of our tangent right there. If you'd like to hear more of that, just let's comment below. But yeah, what have you been playing this week?
okay, so this is gonna be funny. I started playing Apex Legends again, which is
What's that? I think I remember
I
that.
know. So okay, so I was fucking bored one day and I jumped on some Minecraft and I just really I wanted to play with somebody. Actually,
A
before I
consenting
talk about
adult, I'm sure. Yeah.
before I talk about Apex Legends, maybe this is a good topic, okay?
Okay.
We'll talk about this. So on Xbox, you can create a post and you could look for other people to play a game with, you know. And I've used it in the past, sort of with mixed results, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Um,
Same here.
right. But for some strange reason, this thing always keeps coming up where I put a post. No, this time I didn't put a post up. I actually joined somebody's post looking for three people to play with, no kids, adults only,
Right.
and it was like you know, come and hang out and chill, cool vibes, good vibes, we're all gonna get along, blah 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 blah, right? So I join and it's like 5 people in the chat, and I'm like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" And they're just still talking, not even bothering, just ignoring me. And then they're like, "Jinxed, are you there?" My name is Jinxed. Jinxed, are you there? I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here. Hi." And they're like, they didn't even send me the invite to the game yet. I'm not even in the game yet.
Right.
And then one girl goes, "How old are you?" I'm like, I'm 45." And then she's like, it's just like dead silence in the chat,
Oh
right?
no. Oh no.
Fucking dead silence. And then
Are you my dad?
she goes, what year were you born? And I was like,
What?
I'm like, 1979. And then it's still silent. And then she goes, that can't be. You can't be 45 and born in 1979. And I'm like, and she, no, I'm sorry. She didn't say that. She said, no, you have to give me the month and the day. You can't just give me the year. And
No, I'm not going to give you my. What do you want? My social?
I'm like, yes, I swear to you, I fought myself from saying, do you also want my social security number too? Like, what the fuck is this Inquisition, right? So
God.
I was like, October, and I told her the date. And then she's like,
Scorpio.
you can't be, you can't be 45. Yeah. No, I'm Libra. She's like,
It's close.
you can't be 45 and born in that doesn't make any sense.
What?
And I'm like,
Like, could she not do math?
I swear to God, for a second, I started second guessing my own birthday. I was like,
You're
wait a minute,
46, dude.
wait a minute. Am I 25? Have I been 25 this whole time? She swore up and down, and she was like fighting with me. Swore
Wow.
up and down I could not be 45. And I was like,
Like, what was the point? Like, what did it even matter?
and and and
What a weird
she's
conversation.
so finally somebody else chimed in and was like, "Nah, that's right. He's nah 1979. Nah, he's probably." And you could just hear them grabbing their phones and like going to Google and like looking up,
Like,
because they
Google.
can't fucking do math.
Like,
And
Siri,
then
what is
she's
math?
like, "Yeah." So then she's like, "Oh no, you're right. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. My math is like way off. That's sorry." She's like, "All
Yeah.
right, yeah, no." She's like, "Yeah, my math is way off. Sorry about that." And then she was like,
That's so
"Yeah, so."
stupid.
And she's like, "Okay, cool. How you doing? How are you?" And then I'm like, "I'm just gonna go, guys, because you guys are fucking weird."
I know,
And
it's
I
right.
just left. I just left. But you know what? Eh, Not that exact scenario, but
God.
I've had similar interactions with people, specifically on that, creating a post and then trying to find people to play with.
Now, is it the
On
same
that,
game, though? Or is it like different games? You're just using the same.
different games.
Oh, there's
Yeah,
Liam.
different games.
Hey. Here he
Hey.
comes. He'll
Yeah.
pop in a
No,
second.
different.
Different
Yeah.
games, but still using the. Yeah.
Still, yeah. And there's this like,
There he is.
yo,
Hey.
what's up?
We just got to what we're playing. So David's filling us in. You haven't missed anything.
Well, we were talking about like getting these posts, you
Yeah.
know, and joining these posts, and there's this general sense of like, I don't know what it is, but like there's this like sniffing out the pedophiles, I guess you can
Is,
say.
is it, you
It's
think
like
that's what they were doing? Is maybe
I really there was another one that I joined, another chat that I joined,
yeah.
and this guy was like the very first question he asked me was like something about like playing with children in a game. Like, no, he goes, do you think a 17-year-old he goes, do you think a 17-year-old is an adult? And I'm like,
No.
what? I'm like, why, where is this question coming from? And I'm like, well, I mean, it really kind of depends, and he was like, what do you mean it depends? Like this guy is like trying to sniff
Well,
me out or something like
I
that.
mean,
It's just so stupid. And I'm like, well, we try. I mean, there's instances where we try young kids who I would deem a child as adults in fucking prison.
yeah, but
They
I mean that can't be what he was, talking about. I mean, it's
no, and then he's like, no, you're gone, and then he just kicked me out.
But
You know, like
what
I didn't answer the question right.
what did that
Like
even matter? Like,
it doesn't matter. And this is my point is that like I feel like there's this like overarching like narrative that people are just so terrified to play with other people, and particularly if you're way different in age, right?
well, yeah,
You
okay. I mean,
and
I
you
get
play
that.
video games, you're way different in age, mostly older, and you play video games, you must be some kind of fucking weirdo, you know? And it just drives me fucking crazy.
Well,
It drives me crazy.
that's not true. I mean,
Cuz listen, and I I I somehow I have some of the best times with like a 15-year-old kid because he doesn't care. You know, he just wants to have fun, and I just want to have fun too. I don't want to like have all these like super adult conversations where we talk about fucking taxes and fucking, politics or whatever. I just want to play the game and have fun. And a lot of times the younger kids just want to do that, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
But it's so bad, get away. You can't play with the younger generation, and it's like, well, why the
Well,
fuck not? It's like I mean, don't get me wrong. Listen, I realize there's bad people in this world. I get
right,
that,
right.
and I'm
And they
glad.
are
Listen, I'm
on
glad,
they're on,
and
consoles.
I'm glad that young people are.
Liam's waking up.
I'm Yeah, I'm glad that young people are like being cautious. You
Right.
should be cautious. If somebody says something weird, get the fuck out the chat. Leave, block them, do whatever you have to
Yeah, if
do.
they ask you something
Right?
that's uncomfortable, then just leave. Yeah.
But if I'm like, hey, what's up? You want to play? Let's play a game, and we play a game, and nothing weird happens. We're just having a grand old time.
Well, it makes me wonder how prevalent this is if you've got people out there asking those kind of questions. I mean, are they
Yeah,
just are they just being like a super caring and just trying to police, gaming, or is it an actual problem? Because like for me as a dad, my kids didn't play online until they
yeah,
were well into their teens. You
right.
know, I mean, I didn't give them a headset or anything. I'm like, and at one point it was like, can I play this game? I'm like, okay, let me check it out first. You're good. And then not until they were around 17
Yeah,
ish, where I'm like,
yeah,
you can, have a headset,
right.
but with these rules. So yeah, I mean, I get that. There's people out there that just are just absolutely terrible. But as far as gaming and as far as like jumping in with other people, I play on a MetaQuest and I play VR, and
Yeah,
there's God, I mean, it's just riddled with kids that sound like they're about in between 9 and 13, and I fear them. Like they are fucking scary, man. Like the stuff that comes out of their mouth is like when
yeah,
they talk to each other, and like especially people on other teams. Oh my god,
yeah,
like the profanity, and I'm the one going, I am really uncomfortable. Like this is
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like, oh my god, like what did you just say about his mother? I took a recording of one. I can't play it, obviously. I'll have to find it somewhere, but it was just massively just overdone. Like the stuff that they would say to each other is just absolutely terrible. Not to say that, you shouldn't be careful out there, but good grief. On the flip side, it's, I'm asking people like, how old are you? Because I don't want you to be terrified. I don't want
Right.
I want my team to be at least, the 20 and above.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
man, that's crazy. So anyway, so you played Apex Legends,
Yes. And
and
I,
how
I
is
guess
it now? Is it
I guess it was funny because I guess I wanted to say that because I was just I put it on because I was jonesing to just play with somebody. I was just feeling like I needed some kind of
some
like,
multiplayer shoot
I
'em
was
up?
just alone in this massive world of Minecraft, and it's just bullshit there.
Yeah.
So I joined Apex. I played like 3 games. Nothing really happened. I died pretty quickly, and then and like my fourth or fifth game, uh some kid goes, Do you got a mic? And I'm like, yeah, I got a mic. What's up? And he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna win, right? And I'm like, yeah, we're gonna win, man. Let's play. And then we played. We had a freaking great time. We didn't win, but we had a great time. And then he was
Yeah.
like, "You want to play again?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, I want to play again." And then we played again, and the kid is really good. He's actually really, really good.
Yeah.
And we jumped in the firing range a couple of times. We played a couple of times then, and I got excited again, and I wanted to play again tomorrow, and I did. I played with him tomorrow, the next day, and then he had another friend join who sounded like maybe he was like maybe a few years older than him,
Yeah.
but still young. And we started winning games. We started playing
Oh
together, and
man,
we
that's
were like
great.
having a good time. Yeah, and then yeah, I was like, this is what I'm talking about. Like
Yeah.
nothing, just the game is in focus right now. That's all I really care about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we were just hanging out and having a really good time. It didn't matter that he was young. It didn't matter that I was old. You know. And then I don't even think age even came up like in the conversation.
Well, yeah. I
Um,
mean, it shouldn't. It's you're playing a game.
right. So and then I guess the thing that I do like about Apex now is they have what's called bot run. I think it's called bot run. And it's basically Apex the game,
Right.
the full game, not the full game, but it's Apex the game, and everybody in the game that you fight is a bot. It's not a real person.
Oh.
So it's literally you're dropping in just like you would in a normal game.
So you can
You're having
practice, basically.
Yeah, it's a
exactly. You're having
Nice.
to fight to the center of the map. The storm's closing in on you. Same thing. You can call out shots. You could say there's an enemy over there, and the bots that are playing with you,
Yeah.
they will follow you.
Wow.
So you're practicing your call outs. You're saying there's a gun here, and you're telling your bot to get the gun, and he'll get the gun. And it's very easy. After I didn't lose at all because the bots are pretty easy to fight. But I just had such a good time doing that. And I'm like, man, why didn't they put this in the game on day one? Instead of me
Yeah.
having to try and be good at this game and dying constantly, I've definitely died way more than I've won. Why didn't they just put this in the game originally?
well.
Would
That
have
I
been
mean, that's something that like probably a lot of battle royales didn't even consider because
Fortnite
when
yeah,
does it, doesn't it? Don't they?
I well, I mean they have creative maps and you got maps like you do what you like, but they've probably got something like that. And bots are in Fortnite anyway.
yeah,
Like when battle royale was at its peak, no one considered that. I
Yeah.
think we got to a time now where battle royale. I mean, it's popular. Obviously, people still play Fortnite and everything, and Apex and all these other games. We kind of plateaued, and there's nothing else that's bigger. So we sort of know what we're getting into at this point. And now it's just keeping a game sort of healthy. You can still play without other people, and I think they'll have to sort of adjust. Maybe, yeah. If you got like a bot match, that's a good way to say stick it offline if need be, because these games won't last forever. So
Or maybe just
keep
get a
it.
win, man.
Yeah.
It's like the last time I played Apex Legends, we got really into it. We played, me and my wife and David and Gina played for a
yeah,
while and got good at it. But man, there was
yeah,
always that somebody better. There's always somebody better.
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
And not just somebody better, but somebody like miles better than
way
you.
better.
That like wiped you out in 2 seconds, and to the point where you're just like, this isn't fun. Like,
Right.
why
Right.
this isn't even like exciting? But it's funny because I Gina gets home from work, and I was like, can you really just play one game of Apex with me, please? And she's like, all right, fine, because she hasn't played in a long time.
Yeah.
So she jumps on it, and I don't even tell her that we're playing the bot run.
Oh
Right?
no. Oh no.
I don't tell. I don't say shit.
Man,
Right?
you're
And
terrible.
then So we drop in, and she's like, "I don't remember the controls. I don't this," and I'm like, "Oh, it's this button for this and that," and we're going, and then she gets a couple kills, and she's like, "Oh man, this is." She's having a good time,
Yeah.
and then we win, and then she's like, "You see, this is how this game gets you." She was like, "It lets you win the first time you join in, and now you want to play again." I'm like, "Oh, you want to play again, huh?" She's like, "Yeah, I want to play again." I
Um,
was like, "All right."
I mean,
Oh, no.
she isn't wrong.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
No, and she doesn't even know why.
And
my
then
God.
we played a second game.
Oh
And
my
then we do
God.
this whole thing over again, and then we win a second time. And I'm like, "Yeah, I won." And I turn around and look at her, and she's like,
Something's up.
she's like,
It's like nobody
I
has
swear.
ever won twice in a row.
She
What's
had
going
this
on?
face on that was like, There's no way I won twice in a row and I got 8 kills. That's not possible." And then we get to the lobby and it's this. She goes, "What's bot run?" And I'm like, "It's a game where you play bots." And she's like, "We've been playing bots this whole fucking time." And I'm like, "It
But
was
we're
fun
winning.
though, right?" I
Yeah.
was like, "But it was fun, right?" And she's like, "Nah, this is fucking bullshit." And I'm like, "Come on, live in this imaginary world with
I don't.
me. Where
Yeah,
we're
for
good at
me, I don't
Apex."
care if it's fun. It's fun. I don't care
Yeah,
if they're
yeah,
human or not. Let me
yeah.
win just once.
Yeah,
Man,
so
that's funny.
that was my night the other night. It was pretty good.
I like it.
So
I love it. It's like you the second win, you're like, wait a minute. Like you just win
exactly,
like one more, and
I'm
you're like, this
telling
is
you.
bullshit. What is going on here?
I was trying to hype it up. Like I turned around, I was like, "Yeah, we won. All right." And she was like, "It just doesn't
I don't believe it. I don't
Oh my
believe it.
god,
This is
that's funny.
something doesn't add up here. Are we living
Yeah.
in the Matrix?"
Something changed when I left. Are we in an alternate universe? Or Apex Legends is winnable?
Yeah. I wanted to see how. I mean, I was like, if I could get it to a third match and she wins the third match, that would have been that
Oh
would have been
man.
pretty awesome.
I might have to download that again and check that out.
Dude,
My
let's
wife
try it.
has kind of showed interest in getting in that, and
Okay.
I think if I tell her it's like, hey, let's play for a little bit just with bots, I think that might be kind of fun.
Well, what's cool about it, and Gina really liked this part about it is that like it's less people. It's like only like 10 squads or something like that.
Okay.
Maybe less, maybe like 8 squads. And the first round of the ring that's supposed to come in is already in. So it's
Okay, so it's
a-
not
it's
a
much
40-minute
it's a
match.
much quicker game. It's super
Yeah,
quick.
yeah.
Cool.
And less bots, and you could play like 10 games in like an hour. If
Yeah.
you played regular Apex, I mean, you're looking at like 3 in an hour, maybe.
Also, it's a good way to sort of get your game going, because you know
Right.
how sometimes, depending on how you feel on video games, you can be natural, you can be
Yeah.
older, but so you have to get that game in to feel it, to just get a feel of it, and you're playing. So
Yeah.
you play some
Yeah.
bot games, and like if you play like you say what, like 10 an hour, because they're like much shorter games. And even though they're probably easier, it just gets you in that sort of mood. Okay, right, he's going down there, I'm going up here, I'm going to get him. And so then you go to like a proper match, and you'll probably just feel it better.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I think that's the idea.
Whether you win or lose, you just have that. Oh, I've played this already, so let's get it.
Yeah.
I've done that with several games that either have been out for a while and never tried it, and they're like, would you like to try like a practice thing? And I'm like, yeah. And you play it, it's like, oh man, I got this down, this is great. And you play a couple of those, and it's like, oh, you ready to go into it? I'm like, yeah, click. And then it's like, you get in, you're like, yeah, man, let's go. And then poof, you get sniped. I'm like,
yeah.
or it's
The
like
actual
riddled
game-
with cheaters, and
Yeah.
people-
The actual game isn't the same as the training. It's just not.
it's not.
And
yeah.
there's also this like underlying culture especially in Apex. I've seen it in Apex where like if you want to get good, you got to drop hot. You got to drop where everybody else is
Yeah,
dropping,
yeah.
and you got to get into thick of it. And I'm like, that sounds good in theory, but it's actually a terrible freaking idea because when you drop hot, if you get the good gun before the other guy does, that's all that really matters at the end of the day.
Yeah,
It has really
yeah.
nothing of you be. Have I won fights with a handgun sometimes while the other guy has a machine gun? Yeah, maybe if the guy's crap, but for the most part, if that guy gets that machine gun before I do, my ass is toast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like,
that's usually me in battle royales. Every time I land, like
yeah,
everyone, by the time I got there, everyone's got all the guns. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm like getting shot out of the sky.
I'm just going to run right
yeah,
now. So that's why I don't drop hot, because as soon as I do, like
Yeah.
all the guns are gone by the time I'm even there.
I let them just thin each other
Oh,
out.
Or you know,
And-
sometimes the loot like just doesn't appear. Like you can go into a sort of hot zone, and
yeah,
And it's not
like,
there.
oh,
Yeah.
wow, we got all these people down there. Those people down there. I'm gonna go into this big house. I think Fortnite does this. I'm gonna go into this big house, and I'm gonna arm myself. I went into so many houses, and literally no loot spawned whatsoever. Massive houses, nothing appeared. I was like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm gonna
Yeah,
get
that's
invaded right now, and yeah, they're gonna kill me. So I've either got to run or just start trying at that
yeah,
point.
that's
It's like,
that's
why?
not good either.
Yeah,
yeah. I just always wanted a way to play the game, like actual game, in a just more of like an easier format.
Yeah.
And the bot run does it. And it
yeah.
checked all the boxes, you know.
Because
So
the I mean the real sort of play that you got to do in battle royale games, I think, is not be so far outside of everything else that you don't have anything, but you can't be in the hot zone all the time. You have to be like in the middle somewhere. You know.
yeah, somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, you could say in Apex you can see the trails of the other
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
And so what you do is you say, okay, he's landing there. I'm just gonna land like right over here, so I could get a gun, and then it's me and him. That's it. So
Yeah.
may the best man win.
I played. There's a game on VR that I can't really remember the name of it. I'll remember it in a minute. Anyway, it's basically Warzone, but it's in VR. But again, you're playing with like a completely different group of people. So like, I tend to do better in VR because I think I've just has more experience with games than maybe what the people I'm playing against have. So I'll see a guy and I'll hear him and I'm just waiting. You know, he'll come in there and I'm like, bam, I just got him. Like, yeah. And then somebody did the same thing to me. I'm like walking around, and I walk into a house, and this happened twice. And I'm like looking around, and the guy, I forgot to check a corner, and he's just sitting there, and he just blows me away and drop all my shit. I'm like, damn it. And he's like, sorry, man. And I'm like, it's okay. I mean, that's you win the game, have all my shit.
Yeah,
and that happened
that would
twice.
be me, to be honest.
Yeah, but that's never happened to me in like a regular.
Nobody apologized.
Yeah, and it happened. The same thing happened. I was on a roof. I was going to snipe this guy, and this guy just happened to walk behind me, and I'm like, oh shit, I think somebody's behind me. So I go to get up, and he shot me and killed me. And he goes, sorry. like from like way over there. I'm like, I mean, it's cool. I accept your apology. It's just so funny.
Yeah.
It's like everybody's so polite in VR. It's just ridiculous. But is that it for you this week? Did you get to play anything else? Okay, Liam, what did you play this week? Did you finish Avowed?
I have not yet. I was going to, but I had personal stuff come up.
Yeah.
So I haven't had a chance. I want to as soon as I can.
What level are
see,
you?
it's like level 20.
Okay.
What is max level?
30, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. So you're more than halfway there.
More than halfway there.
But yeah, I really enjoy my time with it right now. There are some things that I don't quite understand yet. I think I need another playthrough for it.
Or a book like this thick.
Yeah.
Pillars of Eternity or Eora or whatever. you know.
I mean, it's
history.
not so much the lore of the games, but why does it matter? Why, why am I my character? Like, what's so important? I know why, because the character you are, and what a godlike is. But given a sort of choice based game, I want to see if that actually matters. You know, your choice. Some choices I can see like how things would work differently, and I don't know if you've done the side quests. Did you meet a captain in Ngunu?
A captain.
It's called like it was called something like Ngunu or something like that. I can't remember his complete name right now, but it's a side quest that you do. I'm not sure if I want to spoil. No, I can't spoil it.
Is it funny or is it?
Nobody's gonna know in doo-doo.
Okay. Well, we could put up the spoiler banner. So
spoiler. I'll say spoiler if you want, because I didn't know where this quest was going. It's so funny because this guy comes up to you. Well, the guy comes up to you and it's like, "Oh, I wish my old crewmates were here with me, and you know we would like have an all drink together. Could you find them?" I don't know why he asked you as a yeah. That's the thing about RPGs,
right?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I lost my sheep.
You look like you're not doing shit.
Yeah,
you need something to do.
So yeah, you find these guys. And it's really funny because like one's a complete surfer bro.
Oh my god!
That made me laugh, man. He's literally just in the pool, and yeah, it's hilarious. But yeah, there's something off though. They were in a crew years ago, and basically they screwed him over, and he just wants to kill him.
Oh, so you bring them together and. That's funny.
Because it just hasn't left that left that grudge for ages. Yeah. So you talk to them and like, someone like, all right, I'll go. I don't know why they agreed to it, but and one's like too smart. She's like, no, I know what's going to happen, and I'm not going to be there part of it.
Yeah.
And so there's a few outcomes of this quest. I won't tell you what the end of the quest is, but because you have your ability points that you can do, like, if you've got enough dexterity for this or intellect for that, you get extra options. I thought it was going to be like some good options to do. And this quest, I don't know if it means anything in the rest of the game, but it's like 3 outcomes of this quest. And there was... when I discovered what the last one was, it just made me laugh so much. I don't know, it's just something. I did not expect that option to come up when it did. I thought I was doing like a good thing, and then something happened, and that option came up. I'm like,
kill them all, kill everyone.
And there's an achievement for the quest. That's why I wanted to do the quest, because I'm taking off my achievements, and so the quest, like the achievements will say, "Oh, do this for this and do this with this." Yeah. So the variety of choice I'm really enjoying, even if it doesn't matter much in the end. I don't know how much that impacts the whole story. Obviously, you can only do so much with the actual whole story, main campaign itself.
Yeah, that's that's kind of questionable. Yeah, I have the same questions.
So, but yeah, I enjoy that stuff. I'm a sucker for that. I'm like that. I did that differently that time. I just love that. That's definitely my type of game, and it definitely has that Mass Effect 1 feel for me sometimes.
Yeah,
and mostly Garrus, but it does that new world, and you're sort of discovering stuff and choices. Not Paragon Renegade, but you can do the things differently, and just if you blink, you can miss some of the major choices. Like there's no there's no if you get past if you continue, you won't be able to save your progress from here. And how other games go, right, this is like the end game.
So have you gotten to that part yet?
I haven't. I think I'm about to get like to the last zone, the last area.
Yeah. Okay.
But like, even with other decisions that you can do, there's no warning of things that happen in a game. So choices can happen, and yes, there's a lot of stuff you can do differently. But the game is very sort of figure out yourself. There's no careful, warning. Like,
yeah, it's definitely not like Veilguard, where it's like your companion's like, hey, I bet if you take that and plug it into this and stick it over there, it'll open that door. And you're like, what door? Oh, that one up there? Okay, gee, thanks. Yeah, it's definitely not that.
Yeah, the game does like sort of here's the world and explore. And it really rewards you for exploring too. It really wants you to just wander around, get stuff done. There's no like Ubisoft sort of thing where you find a high place and discovers a map for you. You have to do everything yourself. There's no complete map thing. So you go up that mountain. That's what you need to do to uncover this map.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
But I loved exploring as well.
Well, I can't wait for you to finish it because I want to talk about the different endings, or if there is a different ending, if you know.
Yeah.
Because well, we'll talk about it when that's we'll do a well, David, are you playing this? Are you playing Avowed?
I'm not. I have it downloaded. I just haven't turned it on.
Okay.
Like I said, I really wanted to do like a multiplayer thing. I was feeling kind of lonely and bored.
Yeah, I got you.
And I just knew Avowed was single player, so I was like, I don't want to turn this on because it's not going to satisfy that craving though.
Yeah, I got you.
So, but like I said, I have it downloaded. I want to try it.
Yeah, I will say probably take a few hours to get into it because it's funny because like when I was like seeing discourse online, it's like people are like, oh, I've already played like an hour or two, and I don't like this guy, I don't like that guy, and I sort of I'm thinking back, I'm like I don't remember the intro. There's a whole intro sort of segment.
Yeah,
I don't remember that now. I'm doing this mission.
It's totally a tutorial. I mean, it does it very well, but you're like shipwrecked and you run into this guy that was on the ship. So you have like that companion, then you meet somebody else and have that companion. But those are not your companions that you take on the rest of your game.
No.
So those are just like intro, like introducing you to how like conversations work and all that kind of stuff. So
people are like, oh, it's not clicking with me at first. It won't because that's not the game. That's sort of like a prologue to the game.
I would say at least play until you get off a boat and you're on a pier, and over to your left is a giant lighthouse, just like Morrowind, and you go through this little thing to get to the town, just like Morrowind. That's when you actually start the game. That's when the name should pop up.
Yeah.
Like Cyberpunk,
something like that.
or something. Right. Cool. Did you get to play anything else this week, or?
And not much else. I want to complete Avowed this week, though.
Okay. Well,
I know I'm close to the end. I don't know when it is, but I know I'm close.
I think I finished it at level 28.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow, that's a fair bit there still.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's going to vary. I ended it at 30 hours, which was about the same as Indiana Jones. Yeah, which was, I don't know if that's, seems like really low for an RPG, but seems, I don't know.
It's a modest RPG. You can do the story very quickly if you want.
Yeah.
So it's not a game that makes you play 100 hours to get everything, like most of the stuff done. But if you want to explore and find everything, you can.
Yeah.
So,
I know there's stuff that there's I used to be the guy that's like, when you start the RPG, the first person that comes up to you, hey, will you help me find a sandwich? I'm like, yes. Like everything, and like I have to do everything. And what happens is I don't finish the game because then, like 20 hours in, I've got like this, let me check my journal. It's like page 1, 2, 3, up to 42. I'm like, oh my God.
Yep.
It just gets really daunting. I will say that Avowed kind of lets you manage that a little more. And this time, there's a lot of parts that I skipped to go, just to finish the game. But I did finish at, like I said, level 28 in about 30 hours. And after completion, at about level 22-ish, I have to admit, I popped the gear down to story mode and I just wanted to finish the game. At that point, I think I was a little bit exhausted of the game itself. It starts out really strong, but for me, it just God, there were so many dialogue options that were, hey, we need to do this. Can you help me? And then that dialogue goes into something completely different. And I'm like, that's not what I asked you. It's like, this is what I asked you. And then the dialogue gets to be like, oh my God, a yes and no question is like 8 lines of dialogue. And I don't know, and this may be a me thing, and I think it's more of just playing RPGs for a really long time. There's some RPGs that when you talk to people, you get engaged in what they're saying. Like the characters are like either very interesting or just what you're talking about is very interesting. Or it opens up something else. It's like, wait a minute, the bad guy? And that starts into something else. I never really got into any conversation with anybody in this game except for a couple of my companions that you do the companion quest thing. I thought those were good, and those were intentionally like you're kind of talking them into something. But all the other people that you have to have dialogues, there was this one instance, and I'm not giving anything away. I won't say what it was, but you race back to this place, and it's crumbling down, and it's like about to fall out, and you got to do something to make it not fall apart. And so you're talking to the person in charge, and they bring up the person that just like screwed them over. And then you have to talk to them about how they feel about that. And in the scene, there's shit falling like like all around us. And I'm like, can we talk about this later? It just goes into this like unneeded dialogue, I mean, almost like for the sake of dialogue. It's like, well, if you go talk to this person, well, you got to have a dialogue tree. And I think a lot of the game is I kind of see a lot of that. It's like it's there because RPGs have that. You need this because RPGs have that. You need this. And the story itself, the overall story, I think it does lay a little too heavy on the lore of the other two games and of the world. And this is not at all like those games. Like, it is a completely different genre of RPG. And if you've got people then this is on Game Pass and it's a new game and it's people want to get into it. And when you have that much disconnect from the world that you're in and have to go, oh, this person references this. Okay, well, I can click on that and I can go to this giant lore book and look it up. But a little bit of exposition at the beginning would have gone a long way and a lot better, and maybe not, all the factions and these people and these people, and it's like, well, they sound horrible. Oh, I found out, no, they're not. They just sound horrible. These people sound like they're okay, but no, they're really not good. I just don't think the writing is really good. I don't think the writing is good. Period. I'm just going to say that, and I'm not giving anything away. But there is a segment where you do something multiple times because reasons. It never tells you why. You just have to do it again. And I'm
Yeah.
like, and that's when I was like, for my overall review of this game, I am dropping it down to a 6, because at that pivotal point, that feels like, this could be the story arc that I wanted, and this is where I'm trying to go with it. They throw you this thing in again, and it's like, what? Why do I do this? It made no sense at all. Now, it could be because of the choices I made earlier, but a lot of the conversations that I had with people that were based on decisions, I would purposefully start going, you had that last dialogue. It was like, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm going to do this. And I would click that, and they would go, hey, wait a minute. And then everybody in my party would chime in. And then my options going, like that option, it just took that option out. So it's like, well, I can't change my mind now. I have to go with this. And I'm like, how many of these decisions are actually changing the game? So it didn't really feel like I had control over that later in the game.
I will say there is something about this game, and I think you can say you can try and like talk to different people about like a situation, and say if there's like some bad guys there and you good guys here, and you have to try and sort of either like, I don't know, side with the good guys or side with the bad guys.
Right.
What I wanted was, why can't I do both, sort of thing? Like, just play both.
Yeah.
Just
it doesn't give you that option.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
If you say, for example, to the bad guys, oh yeah, I'll join you. Yeah. If you say that, you can't do anything. You can't just kill them afterwards. There's there's nothing. So it is very sort of cut and dry when it comes to decisions. Like, if you select that dialogue, that's what you're doing. That's it.
Yeah, and even the dialogue kind of funnels you into like, okay, it's A or B, and that's it.
Yeah,
that's your only option. And that's weak. I'm just saying it. I really got kind of weary of that over a while.
I know. I did read stuff up on the game, and apparently only 80 people made this, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So I think smaller focus studios are probably the way forward. We said it before, but yeah. And while obviously working on the Outer Worlds 2, Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
We always get confused.
Yeah. Ditto.
But yeah, so this is a RPG light, sort of, it's the mechanics of the game are sort of like for beginners, but the lore is very daunting.
It's for like a level 20 lore master. Yeah.
So it's a bit confusing there, but it's a fun game, and I'll probably talk about
when you finish, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
I just have a couple of key points that I want to talk about since I finished it, and then we can move on to a new story. But one thing that a couple of things I didn't like about the game is the I forget the race of people, but the fish people, the scaly people. Why do they have hair? Like Kai looks like every time I turn to Kai, it's like, man, his animations are great. His character model is like, man, this looks amazing. And then you go talk to one other, and it's like, why do you have a big head of hair? It just doesn't look right. Just stop. Okay, so and then a lot of the your companions look good. I have to say, all the companions look pretty good. The NPCs that you talk to, some of them just look really off, and they remind me of the puppets from Team America. Because they're like, their animations are not fully there, and it looks really off, man.
Yeah, it is not quite finished. Everything about the game. I mean,
well, it's not. No. That's not fit. There's no correcting that. I'm talking about I'm not talking about the animations that don't fit them, like mouthing words. I'm just talking about in general. Like, some of the characters just look like Like you got a character that like, okay, it makes me feel like I'm in this world. And you walk to the next character and it's like, are you not late for the Muppet Show? Because they're probably looking for you. It's just very inconsistent.
Yeah.
And it just makes it feel kind of superficial and just not immersive like it's trying to be. It's obviously trying to be immersive. And also, we talked about the decisions, and it's not Witcher 3. If anybody says that, it's, but, all in all, I did have fun playing this game. The combat I did kind of weary of later in the game. The enemies do get harder, and that's why I put it on story mode. I want to jack these guys up and just let's get on with it. And then I said, I was last week we were talking about games that have like every single color. Now with this game, you do go to areas that are look vastly different than the starting point. They're very morbid. There's one like a lava type. I'm not giving anything away. I mean, it's lava. Who doesn't know what lava looks like? But there's an area that's like mostly rock and it's lava. And man, they do a fantastic job of giving like depth of the area without actually having it very big. Like it looks like a sci-fi, like a 70s fantasy sci-fi painting. Like you have the foreground is rocks and mountains, and then the backgrounds, as you get further away, they change color to give it like depth, but it also gives it like a richness, So all in all, I mean, the look of the place is just fantastic. I just got really tired of the combat, even the magic. Just over time, just got kind of tired. It was fun. I did get an ending that I did like. I don't know if that was my doing or if that's just the ending you get. I'm pretty sure there's like at one point you either go this way or that way. But yeah, I think like around level 20 is when that honeymoon period was over, and it was kind of just weighing on me. The dialogue and the characters, it was just kind of ridiculous, kind of much. There is one, I can't say it, and we'll do a spoiler cast or whatever, but there's one decision you make, and it affects this town, because they say it will, and you go back to the town, and everybody's mad, but you look around and go, the fuck you mad about? It didn't do shit. This place looks exactly the same as I left it, but everybody's like, what did you do? And I'm like, obviously nothing. It didn't affect the so anyway, good game, not a great game. This is for me, it's not going to go down as like one of the best RPGs. I think
but that's
Pillars of Eternity 1 is much better RPG.
Yeah. But that's also fine, We're saying this like
it's not doesn't have to be.
There's nothing wrong with it not being perfect.
It's not, but
a great game.
But Liam, listen, they bought all these studios, man. Yeah. They bought the best studios. Where are the best games? Like Indiana Jones, it does not get enough credit. Like that game is fantastic. They nailed that game from beginning to end. It is absolutely fantastic. Where's the next Halo? Where's the next Gears? Where's Fable? Where the hell is Fable? And is it even going to be good? After playing this, I don't even know. What is Fable even going to be any good?
We'll have to see. I think
where them good games at?
I think I just think differently to a lot of people. More, I just want to have fun with a game, not being critically and commercially successful and all this.
I'm not talking about that. I just mean like I said, this to me is a 6. I wanted a solid 8. I expected, from Obsidian, the new Obsidian. Well, honestly, I really didn't know what to expect, but I wanted an 8. I wanted this to be I wanted this to be a game that I would play over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's not for me. It's just not.
Yeah, that's fair. We'll see how it goes. There's a lot of games in the pipeline as well.
We'll see. Year, maybe hopefully. Maybe it'll just be one on off. Next game that comes out may be great. Oblivion remake, give me now. I want it now.
Yeah.
I want it now.
If this is like early in the year, maybe this is like a starter mule.
Maybe.
see on when that's coming. It's like, please.
Tizer.
Yep. It's like, oh, sales are going down. Put out Oblivion. Yeah. Okay, do it.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on because we talk about that way too long. Dawn Awakening, the survival game. Not Dawn. Dune Awakening, the survival game from the guys that made Conan, is coming out May 20th. And David and I were talking about this. They released on Steam a character creation and a benchmark. This is a genius idea, man. I wish more companies would do this. You get a benchmark. You get something that you can run, and it will give you an idea of how your PC is going to run this thing.
Yeah.
And the character creation. Character creation puts it in your Steam folder somewhere. Who knows? It's a sorcery.
And you get a free knife skin.
You do, yeah. You get a new, it's like when you reach like level 420 and you make a knife.
Yeah.
But it did come with a trailer. I watched the trailer, and even just looking at the benchmark is obviously like running through an area that you build and outside a little bit and this and this and this. The game looks good. It looks better than I thought it would, and it looks interesting. It's obviously taking some Dune aesthetics from the movies, which I think the movies looked really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to the theater to see the original one. So I still like that movie. It's. I think this could potentially be a hit. This might be that survival game that people don't like survival games play.
This might be better than a 6.
Then what?
Obviously,
What'd you say?
This might be better than a 6.
Let's hope so.
I'll obviously the trailer, and I've not been into Dune at all. I haven't seen the movies or anything, so it's something I have to
Okay.
look up as well.
Well, you know what? In the movies, well, I don't know. I guess I don't want to spoil it for you then.
Yeah, the only thing that I've seen, because I haven't looked it up really, is spices. Apparently, there's a lot of spices.
Oh man, you should. Okay, so you should really watch the 1980s version by who did that? David Lynch. David Lynch did that.
Was it?
Yeah. Watch that movie first,
Yeah.
and then watch the new one. And then you will go back and go, what the fuck was that? What was that first one? Holy shit.
Well,
you have to experience it like most people did. That's my opinion.
I will say the David Lynch one has more of the book in it.
It
like
does.
There's certain characters that are like present in the book. I mean in the David Lynch one, that aren't really present in the remake.
So
and I think that,
these two, I think it's 2 Dune movies right now.
There's 1 and 2. Yeah.
So they're just like the reboots for today, as opposed to
it's the guy that made I can't remember his name, but he was the guy that said he made fun of Marvel movies, but
French Canadian guy.
Yeah, he made Blade Runner 2049, which I like that movie.
Which I think is a great movie.
I love that movie. Yeah. I think if you don't like it, you didn't get it, just like the first one. But he's made these 2. I like the first one. I haven't watched the second one yet. I can. It's free. I just haven't had like 2 hours and 35 minutes to sit and watch a movie. But the game looks really good. And it's just a couple of months away.
What score did you get on your benchmark? Remember? How many frames per second?
Oh, I think I got like 116 on Ultra.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I got 140.
What setting?
I think it was just the average setting.
Okay. Yeah, I I just ran the benchmark, and I guess it put everything on Ultra.
Yeah.
But you can go back. I don't see that big of a difference between high and Ultra.
Right.
I think that Ultra is just for people that,
Right.
I bought a 5090 and put it on Ultra. Yeah.
But what I was gonna say before with the story, and I didn't want to spoil it, and I guess I don't have to, but the game runs like
Parallel.
a parallel universe of what's happening. And
Oh,
I know that kind of sounds lazy writing, but if you watch the movies and you read the books, it does kind of make sense with how he describes it in the very beginning of the game. You know, he describes a little bit of what the movie is about,
yeah.
and then he goes, "This is a different parallel story of, and this parallel story focuses on you." So it's like, okay, this is the direction they're going in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like switching it up, and it's pretty cool, and yeah, I'm really into Dune right now. I haven't read the books, but I've read a lot of Cliff Notes, and
Yeah, I
I'm really
tried to
into
read
Dune.
Dune one time, and it's oh,
Well, and this is why, um, I think I remember the director's name, Delaneuve or something like that.
something like that.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, he's not gonna do because
can look it up.
there's like several books, several Dune books. He's gonna do like he did like the first book and the second. He's gonna do the second book or something like that, but he's not gonna go any more than that because the rest of the story of Dune gets really fucking weird.
Yeah, it does. It gets very, very strange.
Um, like somewhere I read, I can't remember, it's been a while, but somewhere I read that like the first book is about like prophecy or something, then the second book is about money, and then like the third book is about sex or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like a overarching theme. And then by the time you get to that third book, it's like really weird shit. So he has to try to like make a really cool story and a really cool movie without adding a lot of that weird shit and just making it like cohesive.
Right.
So so yeah, no, I'm excited about this game. I really,
Well,
really am.
they had to take similar liberties with Lord of the Rings when they made the three movies because they put
Yeah.
certain things in order outside the book because it made more sense in a movie without
Well,
actually like changing anything. You know,
The Hobbit is one book, and they made three
yeah,
movies out of it.
that's just I don't
Like,
speak of those movies.
what are we doing here? It's like
Yeah,
it's one book and we
cashing
did three
in.
movies.
It's like
Yeah, that's
uh,
exactly what it is.
Dennis Villeneuve,
Yeah,
yeah,
Villeneuve,
Villeneuve.
Villeneuve.
Villeneuve. Did you know that Timothy Chalamet or whatever?
Chalamet.
Yeah, did you
Yeah.
know he used to have a YouTube channel where he repaired 360 controllers when he was a kid?
Get the
He
fuck out of
did. I
here.
think it's still up. I think the trailer like no, not trailer. I mean, I think his videos are still there. If you like say repairing
No,
360
no
controllers. And
way.
what he would do is he would fix them. Like you would send him a 360 controller. He would repair it in a video and then send it back to you.
That's cool.
Yeah. And let's see. I'm not spending too much time with this, obviously. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, I'll have to find it. I'll put it in the comments if I find it. But yeah, he's like 12, 11 or 12. It's funny. Little YouTuber, little baby YouTuber.
You can't really see his face.
No, you don't see his face
Yeah,
in the videos. Um,
that's hilarious.
yeah, but let's move on to this one. I saw this in an interview with Colin Moriarty. A lot of people saw this, but the Sony exec, which of course I failed to get his name, idiot. But that it's not important. He used to work for Sony, but he explains. He does ask him about PC games, PlayStation
What
games on
about
PC. Yeah,
you mean Yoshida?
thank you. Yeah. He said that the reason that they're doing that and they're going to continue to do that is because of the Chinese market. And the Chinese market, if you don't know, they don't allow consoles. I think they just now, like recently, are able to sell consoles in China.
Yeah.
But they don't sell well because, I mean, everybody's got a big, jumbo PC. So PC is really what's, selling there. So, and there's also 1 billion people on PC, so they want that market. And so do you, as far as getting like PlayStation games on PC, do you think that they're going to do day one at some
Oh,
point?
yeah.
Do you think they're going to wise up and start doing this day one?
Yep. There is a game that's the Lost Souls aside.
Mm-hmm.
Lost. That's PC and PS5.
But that's not a first party game.
I think it is second party.
Well, right. So
Yeah,
not first party.
I think it was already a deal done, and I think this is a Chinese developer, and that's probably why.
Could be,
a
yeah.
Chinese deal, something like that. Anyway, but I do think that they will put. Yeah, they probably will to get PC and PS5 day one.
Yeah, are we getting what's the monkey game? What's wrong with my brain tonight?
Wuhan.
Wuhan.
Yeah, Black Myth.
Black Myth.
Wukong. Yeah.
Is that ever
Black-
coming?
Black-
We got it. Is that going to Xbox? Is there something going on with like Xbox in China? Because we don't.
I don't think they like the name Xbox. That's a dumb name.
Was that
be
thing in
Dreamcast.
Japan? Was that thing in Japan? They don't like the name Xbox. Was that Japan? I think it was Japan or China or something.
Who does?
I think it was Earth.
No, but like the name Xbox, I think they don't like because X is something else. I'm pretty sure it's something in like one of the Asian countries.
Oh, I think they're over that. I mean, it's in English. I'm sure they're over.
Yeah.
it. It's not.
But Black Myth is supposed to be coming to Xbox. It's having some issues on Series S.
No, I think it's because Sony gave 'em some money to maybe have problems with the S. I don't know.
I think so too, but whatever.
Well, I think that they are gonna probably push more. If not day one, they're gonna shrink that down. That's
gonna shrink anyway. Yeah.
What was it, like a year for Spider-Man 2? Is it a year or was it over a year?
Might be a year.
I don't know. That's just dumb. We talked about this in a previous episode. But like marketing for these games is not what it used to be. And there was a lot of people talking to the Xbox marketing guy, the guy that's head of it. It's like, why aren't you marketing this game and this game's game? He's like, we are. You just don't know it. Like to make like a live action TV commercial now, like who's going to see that?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Put it on after Matlock? Who's watching that? So you see it, and I see the marketing now that I pay attention. And I'm looking in the right spot. Every time I go to Reddit, I see an Avowed ad. Okay, every time I go to X, I see an Avowed ad. And I'm sure when Fable gets close and all this, we'll see ads there. That's where your market is. That's where and Sony does the same thing. When they got a game coming out, they put ads on Reddit and X, and I'm sure TikTok and all kinds of shit. That's where your marketing is, and that's where you reach people with that advertising. Now, as far as like China, it's completely different because they don't have those.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that has the guy from one of the developers from Black Myth said we don't need Xbox. In a way, he's got a point. It's like if we're going to make enough money to fund our next game and we get okayed with it, then we didn't need Xbox. But it is extra money. But they think differently there. They do business differently there than we do over here.
Yeah.
So
and also, I don't know how Xbox sells in China. I have no idea.
You'll never know.
Obviously probably not a lot.
Well, I don't think Sony sells that a whole lot either.
Yeah, but I mean, just generally in Asian countries as well, Xbox is probably having they never really broke into like Japan market, to compete with Nintendo or Sony.
Oh man, yeah. I don't know. It's just a weird market. I think that hopefully we'll see some more stuff from China because man, they're killing it.
Yeah. I like the fact that like with Japan, Xbox is getting more support. So I'm hoping that China and other countries also do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because Microsoft have sort of made moves to get goodwill of Japanese developers so far.
I'm trying. All right, so let's move on to this one. This one got kind of out of hand. You might have heard this, and this is one of those stories that I'm seeing these people on YouTube, like us. No, not like us, but they find a story and they run with it, and then of course they blow it way out of proportion. Now these are the people that earlier last year they kind of made their channel on, hey, this DEI stuff in these games, and this, you need to be aware of, like, what game is this and this? Is it propaganda or is it an actual game and all that stuff? And they kind of like rallied, together to say to developers and publishers, like, hey, we don't, just make games. Don't do this. So, and now that seems to be shifting a little bit, well, they've got to come up, they've got to feed their,
feed the algorithm.
Yeah, so they're kind of blowing things out of proportion now. Marvel Rivals, I saw 3 videos of like, oh my God, the whole team has been axed. Like, how could they do that? It was super, successful, and they just laid off everybody. Well, they did not. So the actual story is that it was a team. This is according to our boy Paul Tassi over at Forbes. So it might only be half right. One of the developers said him and his team were let go. It was all of 6 people. So not the entire team. It had nothing to do with the production team, anybody that made anything. This was a game director that worked on budgets and staff. So, and they cut 6 people. NetEase, who owns, Marvel Rivals, has 29,128 employees. Good grief, that's a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, everybody calm down and relax. Marvel Rivals is fine. They just had a team that they probably was redundant or didn't need anymore. And
I saw some reports as well. I don't know. Like a lot of these reports, like what's true, what's not. Before Marvel Rivals became Marvel Rivals, they had the game, and they didn't want to pay Disney the money for royalties. They're like, we don't care about this game, and Disney.
So is it like it was like a completely different game?
Yeah, they didn't want to pay the rights.
Well, I don't blame them.
I mean, I understand that the House of Mouse will ask a lot of money. They need to pay, but at the same time, if you have a chance to have a license like Marvel, that's a huge opportunity. I'm glad Marvel Rivals has done well, unlike other Marvel games.
Yeah. There's been a couple.
Yeah. So yeah, these headlines are absolutely crazy with NetEase and things like that.
That's funny because I read another article, because there's so many different articles with like different competing information.
I know.
And I read another article that stated that the team that got canned was a team that was supposedly like specializing in just launching the game. Like their contract was to launch the game and get it off the ground, and then once that is established, then they're supposed to be let go because their contract was up. But now that article you're telling sounds completely different than what I read. So
if your contract, they either buy your contract and you leave, or they just wait till your contract's over. So you don't really get laid off because you're not technically an employee of that company.
Because if it's a contract, then if your contract is up, that's it.
The contract through somebody else. Yeah. So I tend to think that since the head guy was like, "Hey, I got let go today," that was an actual layoff. They were working there, but again, it's 6 people working on budgets. They probably were just redundant. Yeah. So we need to be in. And I brought this up because it's news right now is just ridiculous. You don't know who to. I mean, and that's like every news source. Like CNN has one story, Fox has another. They don't even sound the same.
Yeah.
We see this in gaming too, where IGN. We know IGN is just a feed for the corporation, and and they just do whatever they're told. So we can't really rely on websites and outlets like that to find out what the story is and what's going on in a game, or if the game's even good or not. We can't even trust them for that. They're just absolutely useless. So we go to the internet, and as far as what's happening in the gaming industry, you want to kind of educate yourself and know what's going on. You don't have to know everything, but you do have to. You do kind of want to see a story and maybe get different sources or check different outlets, or even just different YouTubers. Because I saw a YouTube video of the guy going, "Hey, this is no big deal. It's like 6 people. Everybody, chill the fuck out." So
Yeah.
So you just have to, don't get mad and start sending hate comments to people without actually knowing the whole story.
Yeah.
So we just have to be careful with that stuff. There's a lot of misinformation out there now. And like I said, a lot of these people have grabbed onto that, this is woke, and gotten a lot of viewers because of that. And if that wokeness is starting to go away, or what their perception of wokeness is, then they're going to be doing something. They're going to have to come up with something else, whether it's there or not. I've seen this a lot with Avowed, where people are like, this game is completely woke. Okay, dude, I just completed the game. I didn't find anything that I would consider, woke, or the overly, woke or whatever. It just... Yeah, just chill out. So anyway, we just have to be careful with that. And I also found this. I don't know if you guys saw this, but I thought this was funny. Hideo Kojima apparently went to see Captain America: Brave New World. Did you see that?
I saw that tweet.
Okay, so I've got the tweet right here. This is what he says. This is hilarious. So this is Hideo Kojima, maker of Metal Gear Solid and other games. He says, I watched Captain America: Brave New World in IMAX. I vaguely remember Sam receiving the shield in Endgame, but when did he officially become Cap? Is it because I haven't seen the Falcon and Winter Soldier? And what's this about Avengers being reorganized? I'm also getting it mixed up with the Thunderbolts trailer. Touche. This is how I feel when I play one of your games, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't have a clue what's going on.
I know. Hideo Kojima
can't.
Marvel.
Yeah, this movie must be terrible if he's like, what the... He can't figure that out.
I mean, it's not terrible. It's just run of the mill film. I saw it even though I was tired.
You?
I was tired anyway that night, so I wasn't paying attention. But I know, I know the gist. I did watch the TV show Falcon Winter Soldier, which is probably one of the better ones. The villain was, but the show was quite good. But yeah,
little baby Kurt Russell was in it.
The film was alright. I think because of this whole multiverse stuff that Marvel did, and kind of fell off with a lot of viewers. They should really, in the sort of intro of movies, be like, "Hey, this is what you need to know." Just like a quick sort of flash sequence of of what happened before, because a lot of Marvel fans just dropped off after Endgame.
Yeah, you know why?
Yeah,
because they should have stopped there.
Yeah,
at least for a little bit, but they didn't. They didn't stop for 2 seconds.
No, no, and they run out of ideas. and also other things happen, like stuff out of Marvel's control, like the actors getting arrested and things like that. And now their actor for Kang they can't have him.
Oh yeah, that guy. Well, look, it's kind of like this, okay. And we've talked about this before. and I use this example a lot. The thing I watched on God of War. Cory Barlog was the creative director. It's like, hey, can we do this? Go ask Cory. It's like, okay, well, we need a commitment on this. Go ask Cory. You know, how's the story going to pan out? Go ask Cory. It's like one person has that vision of the game, and to make the game, you got, you know, it helps with that whole kind of placement of how everything fits into it, and it ultimately usually makes something good. When they made Iron Man, Kevin Feige, or however you say his name, and here I go again. It's like, hey, I can't remember my name. Who's the director? It's right on the tip of my tongue. He's in the Marvel movies.
Feige?
No. Dang it.
Are you talking about the Stan Lee?
No. The director, John Favreau. Yeah.
John Favreau.
Yeah. He's in the movie. When John Favreau had the idea for they wanted to make Iron Man, and this is how they were going to do it, and this is and they had a plan, and they didn't just go, hey, we'll just see how this works, and then no, they looked at the licensing and they went, who do we have? We don't have Spider-Man, we don't have this, we don't have that. What do we do? We have this guy. We have these heroes right here, and it was like, we have the Avengers. And they're like, what? It's like, you just named all the Avengers. And then they made a plan. And from Iron Man to Endgame, it was an entire plan. And it showed. Not every one of those movies was fantastic. Most of them were. But to go from Iron Man, what is it, like 2008 or whatever, to Endgame, holy shit, man, what a ride. I mean, and what a fantastic ride it was, because everything fit together. After that, they didn't have a plan. And Kevin Feige said that. He said, we just didn't have a plan. We just made shit. Just threw it out there. I mean, because somebody at Disney's like, where's your next movie? Where's your next movie? We need to keep this momentum. Games are we're seeing this a lot with games as well. A game comes out, it does well. As soon as it does well, the developer's like, where's the next one? Like, what? Well, we weren't making another. Yes, you are. You're making another one right now. Like, oh, well, I guess we got to come up with some shit. You know, they didn't plan out any kind of thing, and then the second one comes out, and it kind of shows. So that's how the new Star Wars movies ended up. They had a plan for the first movie, didn't bother to like have a plan for the other two movies, and just let this dipshit make Last Jedi. You know, my point is that a lot of this stuff now, and some of these AAA games, and most definitely Disney, are not making They're not making stuff for us anymore. They're making games to appease investors, and it's obvious. And they're making TV and stuff for investors. The best thing we can do, especially on the Disney side, is don't give them any money. Don't cancel the service. Don't go to the movies. Don't give them anything. Because the Marvel that we loved is dead. The Star Wars that we loved is dead. It's gone. It's not coming back. They're not going to make it back. But maybe if they go bankrupt, they'll make new stuff. And new stuff is good. There's nothing wrong with new stuff. Make new stuff. I, for one, want to see new stuff. I don't want to play another game with a number on the end of it unless the first word is Gears. I don't want to do that. I want new stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So every time a Marvel or Star Wars thing fails, I'm like, good. That means that is a message to them that they need to do better. They need to make better stuff. Let Marvel die for a little bit. You know, let Star Wars die for a little bit. The reason that Star Wars did so good when the prequels and even when Disney bought them and they just started pumping stuff out, is because we were so starved for anything Star Wars. And then when it came out, it's like, oh my God, we'll consume anything. And then it's like, most of this is shit. It just, took a little bit for idiots to catch on. Gaming is the same way. Is
always-
Avowed? Wait, is Avowed a 6? But everybody's giving it an 8 and 9 because we don't know what good games are anymore. Our bar for gaming has dropped considerably since 2018-19. Seriously, think about that. Like we've got games like, oh, this game is good. Indiana Jones, I use an example. It's like it's rare. It's rare to have a game that works that well, looks that well, plays that well. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It's surprisingly good because we're thinking it's going to be garbage. We're thinking it's going to be woke and everything. Avowed will get away with this level of quality because what else have we got? And that I hate that. I hate that we've got to that point. There's a lot of games out there that, I see people talking about. It's like, this is the best thing ever. There's a lot of movies that have come out recently that it's like, oh my God, this movie's so great. I'm like, how can you say that? It's like, it's got 500 potholes. It doesn't even make sense at the end. I mean, because they don't make good stuff anymore. And I'm not being subjective. I'm being objective. The quality of stuff, you have to look for it and you have to find it because now it's rare. So, and that's why I was saying that about Avowed. Why is this not better? Why is this not... They've been working on it for 6 years. Why is this not game like, holy shit, this is role-playing game of the year? This is like first-person Baldur's Gate 3. Why is it not that?
Well, as I read in the interview, it took them 2 reboots to actually make the game as well.
It means they didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Mhm.
Why not? You're a studio that makes RPGs, man. I don't know.
I'm glad they had those reboots because I don't like the sound of what they were doing. Did you know what the original sort of pitch was?
Yeah, they were making like a fantasy style Destiny.
Please, something.
I want that. I want that. Maybe not this game, but please, somebody make that. Make that where we can all go like freaking raid a castle with a bunch of orcs and shit.
But
Let's go.
They probably thought of that, and then looked at multiplayer games and live service completely crushing and burning, and went, no.
I tell you what happened. They got into it and realized, and they're smart by doing this, that they are not a studio that manages live service.
Yeah,
and they quit.
Exactly as well. They're not a multiplayer. They're not multiplayer live service.
Well, unknowingly, there's like 8 people over there making Grounded, and it ends up being a live service game. It's like, apparently they didn't have lunch together. But
I mean, Grounded was Grounded was a.
Well, you couldn't do that with an Avowed style game anyway. That was more of like, hey, you guys tell us what you want out of this game. But I get your point. It's good that they did not make that because they probably would have messed that up. Much like BioWare making Anthem. It's like if you don't know what you're doing with that, you're not going to make a good game.
Yeah.
So
it's like Dragon Age: The Veilguard. I don't. Given the hate of the game or reception, I still like the game.
Yeah.
Because it's still my single player RPG. And
right, they didn't make
it could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse.
Oh my God!
It could have been Anthem 2. I don't want that.
No.
So I'm glad they got the end of the story sort of half deserved.
Yeah.
And it wasn't some live service junk.
Right. I don't want an established game made into a live service. But if somebody would please make a live service Destiny style game, whereas fantasy with swords and shield magic and shit that I can play with my buddies, and we can kill dragons and crap. Let's do it. And don't tell me WoW, because that's an MMO. It's different. It's not the same thing. Plus, I can't find anybody that will play WoW with me. I say WoW to anybody, and they're like like spray holy water in my face. So yeah. Anyway, that they dodged a bullet with that, but that's again, that's kind of just the way I look at it. It should have been better. I was hoping for it to be better, and geez, I don't know. it started to feel kind of like Starfield to me, where it's like toward the end, I'm like, I'm really just want to finish this game now. I really just want to finish this and move on to something else. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to. I don't feel like that with every game. So
there are some new games coming out soon. Do you see that the Activision seem to have made Pro Skater 3 and 4 remake?
When does it come out?
I don't know the date, but I think it got leaked, and they were like, "Ah, crap, we got to put it out." There was a leak that said it's going to come out in June.
Oh, that's perfect.
Apparently Xbox has a show might be a shadow drop in the show, and if that is the case, I hate you leakers. I really do.
That would be good. Well, that's okay because it's not. It's going to be the Gears collection.
But they did this thing now where they sort of acknowledged the game's existence. They haven't actually announced it, but they've got the Tony Hawk website. If you go on it, it says there's an announcement coming, basically a countdown. For you Americans, they did this because it's 3rd of the 4th, so 3 and 4. So yeah, 3rd of March, they'll have a reveal, I guess.
Well, we also have Monster Hunter Wilds comes out on the 27th. We got Elden Ring Night Rain, which that may end up being my medieval co-op game. Maybe. May 29th, and then we've got Assassin's Creed Shadows on March 20th.
So I saw people got their hands on it already.
Of course they did. And so far that's the big hitters, I think, the heavy hitters. And a new golf game, PGA Tour, comes out on the 27th as well.
Yeah.
Yay.
Game of the year,
is
golf.
That an EA game?
Game of the year, golf.
It's 2K.
Oh, that's 2K25. Duh. Okay. Well, that's misleading because it's 2025, and it's 2K could mean 2000. So, but yeah, we got some good games coming out. Hopefully, we'll have some stuff to talk about when those arrive. I did watch the Xbox ID thing. There really wasn't much to talk about that. I would say, don't watch that. Go immediately to Steam because the Next Fest just started today, and there's a whole bunch of demos and a whole bunch of stuff you can actually play and not just watch movies of. So I prefer that over somebody going, "Hey, look at this show! Look at this game I made. When's it come out? I don't know." So
Nice.
I saw Balatros going to Game Pass. It's like, oh, of course it is.
Fuck.
They had the release date for 33 Immortals, which
they did. Yeah, I did see that.
Which I already forgot, but in March.
I think it's March. Yeah. Early access, I think, is what they said.
Yeah. Day 1 Game Pass 2. Yay.
Yeah.
So some stuff in March too for Game Pass.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. We'll talk about that more. But I think that ends the show here. And again, in the comments, let us know what you want us to talk about. Is it news? Is it just stuff? Is it a combination of both? We are completely open. So also like and subscribe. That would be great. It's easy. It's just 2 clicks. It's just click and click. It's all we ask. No big deal. And then you don't even have to watch us. Man, we don't care. Just like and subscribe. So, but we'll be back next week with some new stuff. And until then, have a great week and be nice to people.
Mm-hmm.